Here's Brody Brazil.
And so what issues are up for discussion here? Like, why did the Senate ask for, some revisions and some amendments? And a lot of it had to do with projections versus promises, right? The attendance numbers. A couple of the senators asked about, well, wait a second, if you're promising 27,000 every baseball game and you can only seat 30,000, what happens on the nights where you only get 14,000? How do you make up that gap? Tax revenues, there's a live entertainment tax to be collected, but also one not to be given by the A's in terms of, having a live entertainment tax on their 9-acre site. And by the way, that's the Raiders and the Golden Knights are also exempt from that, to be clear, but every other business in town is not. There were some questions about actual jobs, construction jobs, stadium jobs, the wage of these jobs, what was estimated, the wage of current jobs at the Tropicana Hotel versus what wages would exist in a brand new stadium opportunity. There were a lot of questions. And again, the overall theme, though, is these projections. Are these accurate or are they aspirational? I can't judge all of the fine-tuning of payrolls and taxes. That's not my thing. But I will tell you, and I've made quite a few videos on this, the site needs attendance. It needs paid attendance to pay off general obligation bonds in Clark County. And the one thing I do know about sports attendance, there will be a honeymoon period. Jeremy Aguero is right when he presents that the first couple years here could be a huge economic boost. But it's not about that and the shiny new toy. It's about year 5. It's about year 6 and 9 and 12 and 15. I mean, this is a 30-year arrangement. And if you've ever watched sports, like I have for basically 40 years now, you know how the tides work. High tide, low tide, good seasons, really bad seasons. To project and expect that level of attendance and commitment, I mean, first off, you have to consistently put out a product, to field a product that's competitive. And even then at that point, how many times have we seen in sports, we thought a team was going to be really, really good out of training camp, out of spring training, whatever. And then, preseason, season rolls around, this team is not good. Nobody's showing up by August anymore when they're 20 under 500. Or in this case, when the 2023 A's are on pace to lose 130 games. So I'm just saying from the sports perspective, projections versus promises, that's like saying, well, we promise to win 97 games every single year. Not going to happen. Another issue that was up for discussion and potential amendments is more from the community benefits package. Not only maybe more from it, but at least identifying in writing, here's exactly what we do. Here's exactly what you can expect from this. Because that was honestly not clear. I have some videos on it. I have the whole session up, by the way, if you haven't seen what was presented on Wednesday. But it speaks in a lot of generalities, and I also understand that they're not at the level of detail yet that anybody would want or need. Like that, they're trying to be general because they don't have the specifics nailed down. They'd hate to promise something that honestly couldn't happen or they don't know. But they're trying to paint a picture. Instead, the Senate says here, well, we would actually like some detail, not an abstract painting. We'd like some detail in this painting. And then another thing that came up is naming rights. Now, you think about a stadium across the country, any stadium, they're all named. Most of them have a company's name on it. And the revenue from that can be $1 million, $2 million, couple million a year usually. And these deals are for, 10, 15 years at a time. So let's just say a new Las Vegas ballpark could be worth $3 million a year in naming rights. Times that by 30, well, there's $90 million. And let's up it over time for inflation. Let's say $115 million, hypothetically. Naming rights could be $115 million. It was publicly stated that naming rights would only go to the A's in this project, which is interesting. It's land that they didn't pay for. It's a stadium that's being, publicly funded to a large degree, and that they wouldn't kick back any of the naming rights. Now, is that uncommon in professional sports? I'd have to go case by case. I don't know how it always works. It's not uncommon that a team takes all of it, but in this case, when you're asking for so much, but you want to entirely benefit from that part of it, it's a question by lawmakers. I understand why they're asking that question. And in all fairness, if there's a stadium at Howard Terminal, it's going to get named. And you know what? The rights in that case probably go to the A's too. But in this situation where there's public money, there's public contribution to it, direct public contribution. At Howard Terminal, it would be state and federal contribution. But in the local contribution here, that's definitely an interesting topic, the naming rights to be brought up.